Welcome back. It's your business. It is the Friday. Mr. Ron Nelson is in the building this morning, and you brought a guest. You brought your own camera. I mean, what's going on here?
Hey, we're going
You
big
took
time.
over.
We are going big time here, Bill.
You got a big story with this gentleman.
Well, yeah. This is a show that we talk about commercial real estate, but we kind of talk about the fingers that, are every direction affecting commercial real estate. And one thing is been really frustrating for a lot of people in the last few years is insurance. It seems like it's going up, and we're complaining about it in a lot of cases. In my world, commercial property, the tenants really pay the insurance premium. The landlord owns the building, but it's a cost. The tenants are using the building, so the logic obviously should be that they will pay for it. And in our world, we kind of all work with ratios, and things like that. And so a lot of our talk is measured on a per square foot basis. How much is the rent? It's X dollars per square foot. Well, what about the taxes? It's, $3 a square foot, or whatever. Same with insurance. I kind of need to have a working knowledge of this. And so, I usually say, what's insurance going to be? Yeah, figure 20 to 40 cents a square foot for your insurance. I just did a recap of a property this week when we were expecting that would be the rate. Turned out it was 83 cents a square foot. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I guess I need to pay a little closer attention to this. And, I'm a property owner. I've had losses. As a matter of fact, I haven't bought lottery tickets yet, but we have a property that in 4 years, I think, is it 4 years, Aaron? We've had 2 tornadoes, and we got hit by both of them. So, the old phrase
nobody wants to be your neighbor under that
circumstance. They say lightning never strikes twice in the same spot. Evidently not
You're
the
Ron
case.
Nelson, it does.
Well, maybe tornadoes, it's a different thing. But anyway, I decided to, I got a very limited knowledge myself of the industry, so I thought I'm going to bring the pro, and I'm talking the heavy hitter in here. So.
He was here early this morning.
Yeah.
He camped out overnight to make sure he didn't miss the show.
Oh, I know. That's kind of how he rolls. But I've got the number one property insurance agent in the state of South Dakota and a longtime friend of mine, Aaron Smith of State Farm Insurance here. And Aaron, what's going on with you? You insure our properties still. I'm happy about that. I remember it was 2009. You probably don't remember the year, but after my first fire in an apartment, I want to say February, and it wasn't that bad of a deal. I wasn't even going to turn it in, and Aaron said, yeah, go ahead and turn it in. The second fire, which is a large fire, I called him up. I remember standing there saying, Aaron, you are going to fire me. He's covered me, and 2 tornadoes later, about 12, 13 years later, we're still covered, crossing my fingers. But, Aaron, what's going on? Why are, we've got some crazy weather and things like that in our area. We got inflation. We got interest rates. Is that why premiums are raising so much, or what's going on?
There's really 4 or 5 factors that are leading us to higher premiums. And it used to be, for the people that have been in Sioux Falls a long time, you would see one major hailstorm every 10 years. Now we're seeing one every 2 to 3 years. Or last summer with the 2 derechos, we're seeing 2 in one summer, and actually within 3 weeks. So that's caused big problems. Now we have the COVID issues, and we have labor shortages, which are causing increases there. So it's the perfect storm, no pun intended, that you have these increases. And we are sheltered here in South Dakota compared to Minneapolis. We think increases are large here. Minneapolis, Denver, much larger. So on the business insurance side, we have a very good thing compared to most markets. Our homeowners is probably like everywhere else. It has gone up, but the costs are much, much higher. And hopefully, these catastrophes slow down from where we've had them so far.
Here's a question that I've never really understood about your industry. And so if I want to ask the question, I'm guessing a lot of our listeners probably have the same question.
Too.
Yeah. And that is, are the hurricanes in, well, now California, I guess they're saying the first time ever that potentially the California coast might get hit by a hurricane. But, the things that happen in Florida, I understand a lot of apartment owners can't even get insurance in states like Florida and things like that. But my question is, do the hurricanes in Florida affect my rates here in South Dakota?
Absolutely not. Not with us. They're separated to their own company, even with our name on it for California and for Florida, because of the problems that you're stating. So we just represent South Dakota, not even Minnesota. But these insurance companies are much more sophisticated than they were before on the commercial side. On the commercial side, I was just in Overland Park. They have geographic mapping where they dictate on what's the heavier hail and not, and they're getting charged accordingly.
Okay, so now we're understanding the cause a little bit. What do we do about it? What can we do? What can I do? What can our listeners do to, stem the increases? I mean, obviously, a lot of this stuff, I don't control the weather. I don't control the interest rates, things like that. We recognize supply chain and all that. You get a claim, it costs more to fix it than it did 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. So naturally, the premiums go up. I can't control that. What can I control to help my premiums?
I mean, the biggest thing is most people's policies, they have discounts for how many claims you have. If you have a lot of claims, you're going to have a much higher premium. And it's even more so than that with what the technology that these insurance companies are using. So one is have a higher deductible and you're going to save more money. If you look at it in the long run, you're going to be way better off. Next thing is that these insurance companies look at is how old your electrical is. Do you have an updating plan for what you have? Because what these clients in Minneapolis to Houston to Dallas, if you have old properties and you have an updated electrical, you're going to have a hard time finding insurance on the commercial side.
Well, do you want to talk about roofs? You talk about roofs a lot. Sometimes I want to slap you. You talk about roofs so much, but what about roofs? I mean, is regular maintenance an important component, or is it just age that you guys look at, recognizing that some people maintain them better than others, and we don't know the difference, so we just are going to generalize by age?
First of all, the new technology with composition shingles is amazing on what it can do. I would strongly recommend, if you're replacing a roof, is an impact-resistant shingle. Most insurance companies are going to give you a very nice discount from 10 to 25%, depending on it, but it's going to save you money. Now, when you talk to the roofers, we have 60 pages of impact-resistant shingles, and of course, the cost within them is a big range, but one of those shingles is pretty comparative to a nice grade normal shingle, and I would strongly recommend an impact-resistant shingle if you don't already have it.
Okay. Well,
so what do you think the listeners learned this morning? What would you say, the ABCs of what they should know, why it's important, what you learned this morning, too?
Well, clearly, like I said, I mean, it's interesting anecdotally to, understand the reasons why, things happen. But, I like to cut to the chase, I want to save money, so how is it that, we can save money? And Aaron, I'll just single you out in terms of some advice you've given me. I've had a couple of situations, and you sit down with me and look at my deductible versus my anticipated cost. And you're saying, this is going to be $5,000 over your deductible. Your premium might increase that much if you file this claim. Or maybe I'm putting words in your mouth as I saw you wincing there. But the point is, sometimes, like you said, it's not always necessary to file every single little claim. I kind of hearken it to I guess the insurance company thinks you're a whiner, and you're just whining about. But no, I mean, seriously, you just look at things like, be judicious. Insurance is largely there for, catastrophic or serious events, and that's going to affect your premium. And we've had a lot of claims, and, I whine about our rates. But I will have to say that, we can manage them. We understand that you've treated us fairly. And so, I think, Bill, my takeaway is just, more of the same things I've been getting from this guy for 15 years, but, just manage your premiums, manage your deductibles, rather. Maintain your properties, take care of the things, so the claims that might occur potentially won't. If you've upgraded your electrical, maintained your roof, and, just be smart about other areas.
Sounds to me like you two guys are pretty smart. He gets here early. He makes sure that everything is good. The coffee's here. You're ready to go. You're percolating. Everything's good for the audience. And I think they learned something this morning.
Well, good. That's the objective.
All right. Ron Nelson, we appreciate you bringing the guest in. Your name again, please?
Aaron Smith. Listen to Kello Radio every day.
Well, we appreciate it. I speak to you almost every day.
Thanks, Bill.